hello to our YouTube channel friends. Hello, amazing friends. Coach Clarissa here. I'm here today with amazing special guest. It's our featured guest. And it's Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And you're in the Philippines or in Asia. Happy Saturday. And today I have a treat for you because our topic today is about serving people as a career or passion, the lessons it teaches us. Now, I would like to bring our featured guest. He's a friend I think over a decade ago, and he's a very well-known servant leader. And why we're so excited because prior to our live, we've been chatting and sharing some insights. And you know what? You can't help but just listen to this amazing guy.
You're very kind.
Yeah. So now let's bring Kevin Long.
Well, first and foremost, it's great to be able to see you this evening and to participate both. One of them is YouTube, the other one's Facebook.
Yes.
Both are live. It's very nice to be able to be with you on a Friday evening. When you mentioned the Philippines, yeah, you're right. They're like, I think, 13 hours ahead because every so often I have Zoom calls and I usually do it in the evening. So this way I catch people in the morning in the Philippines. Absolutely. So I can relate to that comment.
So now our friends might be wondering who is Kevin Lamuro, and you know what? I want you to give justice to who Kevin Lamuro is. So who is Kevin?
I guess the abbreviated portion is that I'm just someone that truly cares about the community in which we live in. And many years ago, I was elected first as a member of the Manitoba legislature. You know, the golden boy that's downtown, where you have the legislative building. I worked in there for just under 20 years, close to 20 years, as a provincial legislator. And in 2010, I transitioned from the province of Manitoba to Ottawa. So I've been a member of parliament since 2010. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau appointed me a number of years ago as the parliamentary secretary, government house leader. And I've been, along with the member of parliament for Winnipeg North, serving constituents in Winnipeg North, actually more than just Winnipeg North, but serving people. In Ottawa, I actually am responsible as the parliamentary secretary of the government house leader, which means I just talk a lot, pass legislation as much as I can, or contribute to the passing of legislation and budgetary measures.
Oh, thank you so much for that leadership that you have been doing. And I know, and we can feel like he's so passionate, right? So hello to all of you who are listening and watching us. And then, by the way, we have guest here. Her name is Rich from the Philippines. In fact, he gave the question a while ago.
Oh,
when we
very
were
good.
chatting.
Yes.
And her question is that because you've been serving for the community passionately and probably as a career, you're gonna answer that. But serving the community or the people with where you are right now, what do you learn from the people while you are serving?
The most important thing is to listen, get a better understanding of what it is that your constituents are saying from the macro scale. In other words, getting a sense of what people believe and think that you represent, to the individual. The individual that might have a concern, whether it's a healthcare treatment or it's an immigration-related issue, such as trying to get a mom or dad or a sibling to be able to come to Canada for a visit. Understand what their needs are and try to respond accordingly. And if you're successful at doing that, I like to think you're a better communicator and able to help a lot of people.
Talking about being a communicator, is that something that you have learned?
It,
or it's a gift that you
it,
feel like you're natural?
it comes in time. I think the more you have the opportunity to get out and communicate in many different forms, the more experience you get, the better you get, the more comfortable you are with yourself and with the messaging that you're giving out. There's no doubt a lot of people will look at ways in which they can speed up that process, and they'll look, for example, people like you, Clarissa, as someone that's a coach, to provide them the building blocks and to support their confidence getting stronger, which would make them even that much better of a communicator. So it's done in different ways.
Mhm. So, what would you advise to people who just started their career and they are not yet, good in communicating? Probably, maybe because they are not confident enough yet, or maybe back of their mind they are underestimating themselves because they haven't proven something. Unlike you, you have proven a lot in your works, in your service, your name, the things that you have done. So you as a communicator, you're confident.
Yes, sir.
But for those people who are watching today, when they if they haven't started or haven't built up yet the things that you have established, so what would you advise to our listeners?
Well, in listening to what you're saying, for me personally, I think the most important thing is a person's self confidence. And let me give you an example. A number of years ago, I had a young lady who was very much depressed and not feeling as if she's going to be able to get a job. And she continued to apply different types of work and so forth. And it was really bringing her down. And you could actually see a very low self-confidence. And then a few days later, she's all excited and she's happy. She actually got 3 job offers in the span of 24 hours. And you just saw a turnaround. Having confidence, believe in yourself. That to me is so critically important. The other thing is just really benefits. If you find something that you enjoy doing, if you enjoy doing something, it also makes it that much easier and you're a little bit more passionate.
The key here is like, I love what you said, enjoy what you're doing. Because when we were chatting before the lives, that you said that I never feel that I'm working because you are really truly enjoying what you do.
Yes,
As a
absolutely.
servant leader.
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier, when I was a teenager, I used to watch hockey,
Yeah.
NHL hockey on TV, and I'd be saying, these guys actually get paid to do what they're doing. They're enjoying it. I can't believe I get paid. I get paid reasonably well. To do what? To talk with people, to communicate, to advocate. These are the type of things that I enjoy doing. And as a direct result, often if I'm at work or I'm not working, it doesn't really matter because it all flows as one. And it makes life a whole lot better if you're in a position where you really enjoy what it is you're doing.
Yeah, that's a real good key with what he said, right? So find something that you enjoy doing and then get good at it. And probably you get paid. Now, he said something about the emotions, like when you don't have self confidence, probably it's because of your small self talk that, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. So now, make sure to, you don't have to do anything or change anything. All you need to do is like first thing and foremost, first is that manage that feelings, because that feelings will manifest into your action. That's the reason. But what is that? Where that manifestation of action came from? From here, the thoughts that we have been accepting, because our mind, our subconscious mind, it could accept, reject, or neglect any ideas, right? From consciously. But whatever is it that we accept, we feel that, and whatever we feel, we transform it into action, and that is a result. Now, the result of our guest today, it's because of the way you think. And I feel like the way you think is totally different. And the way you explain, like, they enjoy doing things. and then you are also enjoying what you're doing. And
Absolutely.
then, the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you communicate with people is like it's also different. It's unique. People also enjoy your companion and how you serve them. Now, you are a Kevin already. You're a Kevin. What do you wish that you still would like to do? Because you're already there. You have served decades and decades.
That's a very good question. Um, I always, have a feeling of wanting to move forward. And the thing that's a bottomless, endless pit
Mhm.
is that nothing gives me more satisfaction than when I run into someone at an event or walking on a street and they're grateful because whether it's me or my office was able to assist them. A lot of the work that we do is life changing. You imagine, if you will, traveling to the Philippines, bringing immigration kits over there, getting people to recognize that, yeah, there could be some value in terms of immigrating to Canada. They end up coming to Canada, a few months later, and then you bump into them, and now they're living in Canada because you helped them back in the Philippines, whether it's 6 months ago or 20 years ago, and they remember it, and then they start having families and so forth. When you're helping people in a very real and tangible way, and that's an example of immigration. I go to my daughter Sue, who's also a politician. We go to the McDonald's on a Saturday, and we get people all sorts of issues. People that come and say, Kevin, I'm having financial problems. We try to discuss ways in which we can deal with financial issues. You have people that are dealing with human rights issues. You have others that come because they have very low self-confidence, or they're having problems with neighbors, or they're having health-related issues, all sorts of challenges. So what is it that I would like to do? I really enjoy when I'm able to actually contribute to making someone happy. That to me makes the world of a difference. These legacy projects, well, there's some pet projects that I like, and hopefully we'll see them evolve more in time. I haven't given up on politics yet. I figure, sometime maybe another 6, 10 years, hard to say for sure. And after all, it's the constituents that ultimately make the final decision. I have a very large board of directors, right? 95,000 people. They make the decision in about a year from now. I get to continue.
Okay, wow. And by the way, to those of you who are listening today, here, like Kevin, and the way he is dealing and communicating with the community is totally different than how we deal with the Philippines. Within the Philippines, the politicians there, they have good office, and you have to go through with a series of secretary before you're able to contact them. But he's like, it's amazing. I was amazed when we were new here in Canada, I think 20 years ago. We're able to talk to you in McDonald's. Right? And where this came from, that kind of idea? I'm like really curious, and I'm blessed today that I am able to ask that upfront and personal.
It was actually an accident. What happened is that in 1988, I ran against an individual that I had an immense respect for, and he had one of his campaign managers was the guy by the name of Dean Martin, and I liked Dean, and after the election, we decided that we'd get together every so often. McDonald's, where we go now, didn't exist at the time, so we started to meet on a weekly basis. And June would bring other people to the meetings, and then people started to find out. And then, a few months later, a McDonald's opens up. So then we made it official at that point. You want to be able to meet with Kevin. He's at the McDonald's every Saturday, and I make a point of being there. So whether you've been in Canada for a week or 20 years, you know that you're able to come and approach me.
Wow. And with that, thank you so much. And you know what? I thought that Kevin is one of the owners of the
No,
McDonald's.
not at all.
And I was like, why McDonald's? And then because number one, you're also bringing good business to McDonald's.
I suspect they get some business, but then they have to sacrifice some of their tables too.
Yeah.
They don't charge me a rent.
Yeah. But it's a
So
good
it's a trade-off.
deal too. It's a trade-off. The law of trade-off. I want you to think about that law as well. Because in my practice, Gavin, I do have master degree. I've been in coaching for over 20 years now. And with my master degree, I teach also the law of trade-offs. One thing, one of these days, I'm gonna talk about that, but not today. But here, like, if you have met Kevin or probably somehow was able to talk to him in the past, type me. All right. Type me on the comment section. And if you have some questions for him, you please feel free to type on the comment section. And today, really want to appreciate you all. Thank you so much for listening. And I have one more question here. You see, I don't do, I just want to make sure that I will not miss the questions that I have received. But basically, okay, hold on. All right. So one thing is, you know, you've learned a lot from people,
Yes.
right? Talking to them, communicating with them. But what is one thing that you want to teach to them? If there is one thing, let's say, because unique, a lot of people, every people are unique.
Yes.
You communicated with them, people come
I
to
already
you.
know what I'm going to say. By
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way.
So
Good.
before they come, you
Yes.
have that in your mind, right?
Yes.
What is one thing that you want to advise to them?
Never give up. You know, at the end of the day, no matter what your circumstances might be, there's always opportunities that are there. Even when some doors close, other doors open. I always like to think that people need to cross, put in the effort, never give up in terms of whether it's a dream, it's getting out of bed, or it's going that extra year at school, or looking for a different type of source of income. There's always reason to have, always reason to have hope. You have to look for it. You have to be patient. You might have to go through some difficult times at times, but it's important. And it's a part of that whole issue of self-confidence, right? Have the self-confidence, believe in yourself, and never give up.
See, wherever you are at now, take it from Kevin. Do not ever give up. But I want to shift a little bit. Was there a time in your life that you just want to stop? Was you're tired? Was there ever a time?
Before I was a politician, before I was in the Canadian Forces, just graduating high school, and some gas, and I wanted to do something different, and I figured I'm going to try selling vacuum cleaners. And it's a tough sale because if you don't believe in it, it makes it difficult. So had it all down packed. It was the filter clean vacuum cleaner, and it's amazing what you can do with that vacuum cleaner. And you could really give a good sales pitch until you have to give them the price. Once you give them the price, I felt guilty about that, and I just couldn't do it. And so I just felt like I had to stop. So it lasted probably a few weeks. And that's why I say it makes a difference if you actually enjoy what it is that you did. I hated being a vacuum cleaner salesman. Now, it doesn't mean that's a terrible job to have. For some individuals, that's the type of work that they would get some satisfaction out of. And that's good for them. You know, you can make good money in all sorts of occupations. But for me, it just didn't do what it needed to do.
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, I believe in you because, number one, there is an inside motivation. And if we want to, we are the ones who made the decision. If we want to believe on something, and then once we believe on something, confidence comes in.
Absolutely.
Right? And then, what if you're confident, but you're tired? But I know, like, in back of your mind, you're guilty about that price. Probably that's the reason why some people give up. So now, having a greater understanding of what to do, that is one key. Now, aside from understanding self-confidence and what else, like believing in themselves, what is one key or what is one factor that brought you where you are at?
The ability to be able to communicate.
Mhm.
Communications is critically important.
Mhm.
For me personally, when I'm talking with people as much as possible, you want to look them in the eye. You want to be able to make the gestures to show that you genuinely care and you're
Mhm.
concerned about whatever it is that they're actually talking about. In other words, give and demonstrate respect. Because if you show that, you're going to receive that more often than not, and that's all a part of communicating. So whether it's the one-on-one communication or it's reaching out through many other forms of communicating. Some I suck at. I'm not very good at Instagram. I'm not that bad at Facebook. You do YouTube, which is fantastic. Very few people are able to do what you do in terms of the YouTube, right? So communications is very, very important.
And also, what I like about you, it reflects, how you communicate and your relationship with your family.
Mhm.
And I think that's also one of the key factors. That's the reason why Kevin is Kevin. Like you also extend who you are as a family man to our community. So thank you for that. So for those of you who have like questions, Coach Clarissa, you're awesome. And hello, hi Rio. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome and fantastic. So this is serving people as a career or passion. So, and the lessons it teaches you. So, what is one lesson that it taught you serving the people with your passionate heart? What is that life lesson that, even if no one is talking to you?
It's to be patient. Having patience is really important, I find, in politics. Sometimes people just want to be heard.
Mhm.
Other times they want to be helped.
Mhm.
And people can be fairly animated at times.
Mhm.
Not all emails I get are positive emails,
Mhm.
or all people that approach me aren't necessarily come to say, "Oh, you're a wonderful guy." There's all sorts of different personalities that are out there, and someone generally speaking wanting something, they want it right away.
Mhm.
And so patience is a very important quality to have. Listen carefully, and just be patient with people.
I like that. Was this your plan when you were younger to get politician? Because you
I,
said
I
like,
always wanted to be a politician before I knew what it meant to be a politician. It's actually my older brother. I wanted to become the Prime Minister of Canada when I was very young. We're going back into 1970s when I started to be very passionate about wanting to be the Prime Minister of Canada. And my brother told me what was all involved, followed his advice, and felt that I would build up some sort of a background of who I am. So that's when I joined the Canadian Forces. So I served in the military for a few years. And when the time was right for me, is when Sharon Carstairs became the Leader of Liberal Party here in Manitoba, because she was the first woman to take on a leadership role in Canada at that sort of level. So that inspired me. I became one of her candidates. And the second time around, I was very, very fortunate because there was a red wave. Part of that red wave.
oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. You see, sometimes when you get inspired, when you focus on that, and it clears up it's your senses. Like sometimes you start with an inspiration and you act on it and you become it, right? So if Kevin is not a politician, what would you be?
I might be trying to do what you're doing. I enjoy, let's say, communicating with people. And I often thought, well, maybe it would be good to go on a CPOB or a CBC or something that enabled me to be able to share my opinions. I love debates, advocating different issues, and so forth. So I'm a very opinionated person. And sometimes my daughter will say a little bit too blunt, but I like sharing my opinions and thoughts. and sometimes it's more challenging than others because some people want to try to trap me with the idea of maybe possibly whether it's embarrassing a leader or party or even myself. So you always be a little cautious of that. But at the end of the day, that's the things
You are really a great communicator, and I like.
You're very kind. I like your comments.
No, I mean, like, because you already recognize your gift. Because sometimes some people, they have a gift that maybe they haven't recognized it yet, or they are underestimating themselves or overestimating other people, right?
Mhm.
So I just would like to recognize you all. Hello, Al Joy. Kevin is the right having premier build strong relationship. Yeah. So they are saying hello, and then Aldous is one of our business leaders here. So hello, Bobby. Hello, Jen, Rio, Imelda. Hello, you all of you. So if I am going to put down this, and if you want me to ask one great question, because we have this stage now and we have this question. What is one question that you want me to ask you so that you could answer it here?
What would I like to share with those people that are here? And if I can answer that question,
Yeah.
that would be is that I have a wonderful daughter who's the MLA for Tyndall Park, and I'm very, very proud of her. And she happens to be pregnant. So
Wow.
I'm looking forward to her delivery date. It's another 3 months.
Mhm.
She knows it's going to be a boy,
Mhm.
and it is important to recognize. And I love. She's got. I have a son too. A lot of people forget they're two totally different personalities. My son has provided me 2 grandsons already, so I'm looking forward to having my third.
Well,
So that's something that's new.
I like that. You see, I know that you're a family man. Hello, Cindy. She's wonderful and amazing and pretty. So, and then also, thank you so much for serving. And I really do enjoy having you here today. And I mean, I would like the reason why this is high five is that FIV. I love acronyms. So F is like faith. I'm a woman of faith. You know, if you don't have faith in yourself, maybe you have to strengthen your faith from our creator. So stay in faith, and then I is the inspiration. When we are inspired, we could almost do everything and anything. So that's an inspiration. Look around, if you feel like you are struggling, check out there. And if you're browsing Facebook or Instagram, just read what will inspire you because it will help you. Envy is the victorious spirit, and I think Kevin here, his victorious spirit is the one that is uplifting him and uplifting the people around him. Because you guys, if you know, he already shared with me the people who works for him and with him, like they stayed for since 19.
Just 1988, I have staff like Basil, and of course the late company with them, that for decades working with me. And I've been very, very fortunate. And Josie, Kevin loves it. Very fortunate. That's, as a member of parliament, you have good staff because then you're able to do that. And I have fantastic staff.
It speaks a lot, when people around you stays with you. That speaks a lot. I mean, they enjoyed you. So also in that way, don't forget teamwork. Work with your team and then have eagles in your team because it's the law of environment. They said that if you are in a wrong room, you are in the wrong room. Find the room, right? So or look for someone to work with that will uplift you, and also you do the same with them. And then E is for the encouragement. Encouragement is like an air that we need every day. So with that, I'm gonna ask Kevin to give you some words of encouragement.
Well, for me, we have a wonderful summer still ahead of us, and we have to make sure that we get some enjoyment out of the summer, and dream big, and just enjoy life. Life is short.
Mhm.
So make sure that you, as much as possible, do the things that you are and be authentic.
Yes, life is too short and it's meant to be lived. So thank you so much, Kevin. That's one thing also that I've shared with Rich. It's meant to be lived. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There's a lot of uncertainty in this world. But what is certain is today. And we call it present. So be present. And thank you so much for your presence today, Kevin.
Thank you for the invite and
I
bringing me in your home. It's
Yes,
beautiful.
thank you so much. So, you guys, thank you. We'll see you again next week, and God bless. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.